up, beautiful people? How you doing? So today is a bit of a hard one. It's something that you've either gone through, going through, or might know somebody who's going through it. Eviction. Yeah. Excuse me for reading my notes because there's a lot, so forgive me. But it's it's personal, and the reason I'm addressing it is because it happens a lot in our community. It happens a lot to people today, to be honest. But I know in our community, we don't speak about these things. So it's something we need to deal with. So for the last 6 years, my life has been so stressful. I know people see me smiling and laughing because you know what? You have to. I can't walk around with a frown all the time. But it's difficult. But all I can say is, our God is truly amazing. He's been holding me up because I don't know what I would have done, you know. And it's about them greedy family members. You know, you get them greedy family members that even though they still want. It's in every family. It's in every family. I won't be able to cover everything in this. You know, I've got to focus on the facts. But God's spare life, I'll try to do a podcast anyway, right? So I'll give you some. I'm going to try and stick to the facts. Not the emotion, because you know emotion can come out. So I'm going to try and deal with the facts as best as I can, right? So both my parents passed away, my mum 10 years ago and my dad 6 years ago. Yes, there was a will, yeah, and you know other siblings were left, and my mum had a child from a previous relationship, yeah, who is my stepsister. So my dad had from his marriage and my mum, yeah. My dad made me and my sister and her husband the executors, but the two of us, me and myself and my sister, were the beneficiaries. Okay. So from here on, my stepsister's name is the claimant, because that's how she positioned herself. So, yeah. So the will states 50-50 absolute, yeah, each, right, which I have no problem with. But let me say for the record, I never saw the will till 11 months, 2 weeks after my father's death. The claimant had it and her solicitor, but I never saw it. The will states if you have to sell the house to pay for the funeral, then do so. But it doesn't say that you have to, yeah? Dad was very clear, just put me in the box with my wife. I just want to be with my wife because he loved my mother. He adored her. And, you know, for the 3 years, he grieved. He grieved. So he was gone and he wanted to be with her. He didn't care for them big funeral. It's only us. Anyway, let me go. Anyway, yeah, again, emotion. You see what I mean? So he didn't need a big funeral. He just wanted to go. Fine. Okay. So the claimant paid for the funeral. No problem. But today I've not seen no receipts. I've not seen no receipts, but yeah, she paid for the funeral. Okay. Because I don't have her money. Okay. Like most people I've spoken to, we want to keep the family house if we can. And in this case, there should be no reason why we don't keep the family house. My dad has grandchildren, great-grandchildren. Do you know what I mean? The claimant's done well for herself. Do you know what I mean? Well done. She has multiple properties. She has no mortgages, no dependents. Good for her. She worked hard. So, and this house had, you know, the house has no mortgage. It has no, there's nothing on this house. Everything was being paid for. So there should be nothing, right? But I was very clear from the jump. I do not want to sell the family house. Yeah, I'm not in her position. Yeah. So I was based looking after my parents, and I'm not saying that she didn't look after, because she did. She done the financial side. She was a high flyer. So I get it. There was no argument. I'm not saying it wasn't stressful. I'm just saying that, you know, let's be fair here. Right. Okay. So she want to sell. I don't want to sell. So I offered, you know, I suggested, you know, can we convert the house into 2 flats? You know, could we fix it to rent? Can I pay over 5 years? Everything was no. Everything was no. So the claimant and the other executor, which is her husband, had me removed as executor of my father's will. Yeah? Hear me clearly. My father's will. Not for your father, my father. Yeah? My dad didn't adopt her. You know what I mean? Or her surname is not the same surname as mine before she was married. Yeah? So, hello. That's all I got. That's all I can say. Her dad passed away many years ago. He was a lovely man, but he never left you none. My father left her something. I just want to be clear here. I'm trying not to do the emotion, but I'm trying to be clear. You're probably, as most people are wondering, how can you be removed as executor? When you've got money, you can do a lot of things. And yes, I'm of sound mind. Yeah. But according to the fake fraud document, I'm preventing the sale of the property, even though they've had 5, 6 valuations. I've never stopped anyone from coming in there. Yeah. That's what they want to do. What can I say? So if you look at the document, yeah, it says, can you see the part where it says copies of the grant are not valid unless they bear the impressed seal of the court? Is it just me? But where's the seal? Can you see the 2 different dates? 31st of October 2019. Then I think to your left side, near the bottom, you'll see February 2017. Then check the signatures. It's fraud. Let's call it what it is. It's fraud. Knowing I had this fraud document, I wrote to her solicitor, who to date hasn't given me a reply. So that would be from 2019. Yeah, I wrote to the judge. Because I didn't go to court because no, I don't go to court. I don't do court. I worked in that justice for 20 years. I don't do court. Court to me is them playing tennis. It's 30 love here. It's tennis. As far as I'm concerned, with all due respect, yeah. And again, please don't think I'm against solicitors. I don't like your job, but I'm not against you. It's just a job, and I get why you do it. I understand. But when you go into court, the only people that win, and we know this is, you know what I mean, the only people that win in court is the judge and whoever's representing. You may think you've won, but it's your ego that's won. You haven't won anything. So for me, court is an invitation. If you look properly at any doc, the court says it's an invitation. It doesn't say you have to go, it's an invitation. And you should, by rights, be able to ask them anything you want. If I want to ask you what jurisdiction you're under, you should answer me. If you're a judge, it doesn't matter. You're a human being. You need to answer me when I ask you. And the fact you don't reply says it all. Why have I got to jump when you ask me something? You're only human. You're not God. So I don't see why I've been, anyway, again, like I said, emotion. Anyway, let me deal with it. Okay. So I did employ a solicitor. I went to a few solicitors on this document, right? And everyone was running scared. Oh no, they're running scared. The top solicitors were running scared. I said, I know this document is real now. I know, because of the way they were carrying on. So I employed one, yeah, who told me I would not win on this, even though you can clearly see the information's in your face. It's their document, remember. It's a court doc. It's not me. This is what they class as court doc. It actually says High Court on there. Right, okay. So I employed her because I had an investor who was willing to buy my half of the property to give to the claimant. So you need a solicitor to do this because them and their money laundering and whatever rubbish. Excuse me. So, went ahead. Anyway, when, the solicitor met my investor and they were talking, I saw a change. That's all I can say. I saw a change. And she started to act like she was working for the claimant solicitor, the way that she was carrying on. Talked to me very disrespectful. Because if you don't agree with them, imagine you're paying them, and if you don't agree with them, they start losing their mind. And you're like, no, I'm paying you. I can say what I want, and I don't agree with this, and I don't want this. This is what I want you to do. This is what I'm paying you for. But she started to lose her mind. She lost my documents, asked me to resend, even though I gave her my documents personally, because this is over the pandemic time. So I gave her my documents personally, and she lost my documents. So now you want me to resend the documents, and then the money that she was charging me seemed to go up a bit. And I was like, hold on a minute. I must resend the documents that you lost, which, if you know anybody that's worked in the justice system, then people are always losing paperwork. That's just standard for them. They lose paperwork all the time, with all due respect. And then you've got to pay for that. Yeah? Well, that didn't, if you know me well enough, that didn't end well. That wasn't going to happen. So I haven't got at this moment. My investor is sitting there waiting. The solicitor's playing up, and we're at this situation. So I just want to. So before President Trump, right? I'm going to go a bit off on the left-hand side a bit. Before President Trump left office, right? He gave Boris Johnson and Rishi 450 billion to the UK government for us. For us, the British people, right? Under the quantitative easing for the pandemic, for our bills, our mortgages, for what's happening now, all of that, right? Under the Freeman Legal Services, it's there. If you don't know, because they don't want you to know, but the information is there if you look for it. Now, whether you believe or believe not, that's up to you. That's no problem. Yeah, that's up to you. But if you do your research, you'll find it. Peter of England done an amazing job on that. But if you don't get it, it's because we didn't fight for it, because we must unite. We have to unite. Anyway, so I applied for mine and I got my voucher. I sent the voucher to her solicitor with Boris's signature and Richie's signature on it. Yeah? It states quite clearly on there, on the document, you know, if you don't believe this is right, if you believe this is fake, please take Freeman Legal Services to court. It states it in the letter that was sent to them. Please, all their documents says it, please, because they know they're right. Yeah? They know they're right. Okay. But of course, her solicitor, I sent this voucher February 2021. And they wrote me back and said, her solicitor wrote me back and said, they do not accept the document, they do not accept the voucher. Okay, no problem. Well, if you don't accept the voucher, if I gave you something and you say, no, I don't want it, you'd send it back, right? They haven't sent it back. It's 2022 and they haven't sent it back. I've wrote 3 times and nobody has responded. Not her solicitor, nobody's responded to it. They totally just ignore you. Okay. So let's go to the laws, their laws, right? Let's go to the laws under the Coronavirus Act 2020, right? Section 86 says, and go and read it for yourself because it's still there. It says there is to be paid out money provided by Parliament, by Parliament, any expenditure which is incurred by a Minister of the Crown, Government, Department or other public authority for virtue of this Act. I'm not going to read the whole of it. Go and have a look at it. Section 86, the financial provision, Coronavirus Act 2020. Yeah? Okay. And it also says, okay, then on the section 2 of the same bill, so this is the Bills of Exchange, right? Bills of Exchange Act 1882. It basically says dishonour by non-acceptance and its consequences. Yeah? It says when it is duly presented for acceptance and such an acceptance as is prescribed by this Act is refused or cannot be obtained, or subject to the provisions of this Act, when a bill is dishonoured by non-acceptance, an immediate right of recourse against the drawer and endorsers occurs to the holder and no presentment for payment is necessary. Go read it for yourself. Bills of Exchange Act 1882. Section 43. It's there. This is their laws. It's their laws. Yeah? Okay. So I wrote to Boris and Rishi at that time. They wrote me some doo-doo reply from their office. Yeah? And then I wrote back and gave them the facts. And I asked for a meeting. Crickets. Got crickets. Nothing. And I know the claimant's solicitor, Boris and Richie, received my mail as I sent it special delivery. So when this does go to the High Court, I'll have proof. Because special delivery, obviously, is everything in the courtroom. You can bring that to court. That is proof. So in January of this year, 2022, Wandsworth County Court sent me a possession order that I am to give the claimant possession of the property that I've lived in for 53 years and she left 40 years ago. She's not paid no bills in this house. Everything's in my name. Not quati has she paid. Yeah? Okay. So I should pay the claimant 45k for rent. I'm rounding it up. Yeah, 45k for rent arrears, 900 in interest. Pay the claimant £66 per day from the 17th of January to the possession is given to the claimant. And I must pay the claimant's cost of 7k all before the 17th of January 2022. But the Wandsworth County Court did not send the documents until April. Does that smell of something to you? If you say there's got to be January and you send it in April, something don't smell right here, does it? Okay. So for the first time, I decided, all right, I'll go to court. Yeah. I'll fill out their N244 form to go to court. On my form, I asked if the order was for January, why did I receive it in April? How can I pay rent for a house that has no mortgage and I own 50%? And where is the rental? Where's the rent agreement contract with both signatures? How can you repossess from a current owner? Why should I be paying cost of 7k for the claimant? I never sent her to court. I want to see her contract that I agreed with our signature to say that I agree to pay her court costs if she takes me to court. I'd already written this to the solicitor before. The solicitor gave me crickets as well, right? Because they don't like you when you don't have a solicitor. They don't like it because the two of them can work together. But when you're in it, it's a problem because you're supposed to be dumb and don't know what you're doing. But yet there's no law book. There's nothing that says you must have a solicitor. But they keep pushing on you so that they can make money out of you. But you must have no sense. So I don't have a solicitor. So there in writing, I stated that, why should I have a solicitor? Anyway, I went to court with my Mackenzie friend, the amazing call grant. The judge gave 2 months to basically sell and do what needed to be done. I found a private buyer whose solicitor I basically said, you guys need to contact the claimant solicitor. Yeah. So they contacted the claimant. They decided to ignore them. So I tried to see if I could buy her out, basically, again. Just in the midst of sorting all of that out, though, they decided to reapply to court to get me evicted on the 29th of September this year. So I found a pretty amazing solicitor at the last moment. She was absolutely amazing, I have to say, and my financial advisor worked hard. And so on the 26th of September, my solicitor contacted the claimant solicitor. And in a nutshell, said, look, we've got a bridging loan in place. Hey, we'd like to now purchase the property for Miss Spence. And her solicitor basically said, from what my understanding is, basically said, no, we now want, it's not going to be her buying her out. No. We want full asking price. So we want the full market price. So bear in mind, remember, they never wrote me to tell me this is what they were going to do. So this was all part of their agenda in the first place. This isn't even about, personally, I am going to bring my emotion into it now, sorry. This is not even about money. This is about power. I want to put you in your place. This is what this is, right? Because if the person's offering you, you're saying no, you pull the rug at that last minute. So my sister said, no problem, fine. In that time, I went and got a valuation done. Because remember, this is the 26th, my eviction is the 29th. So literally, I've got 48 hours to do something, right? So my financial advisor and my solicitor, everybody's working hard. And within 48 hours, we got a mortgage illustrator, which I understand is different from a mortgage principal. But we're showing that we can make this happen at the price you're asking. So I went to court on the morning of the eviction on the 29th. I went to court to try and stop the eviction and to say, hey, look, we're here. I want to buy the property. Like, I don't want to be at the property. I want to buy the property because this is going to make me homeless. So, done this emergency one on the day. Call grant again was there for me. Thank you so much. And from Truth and Justice campaign, thank you so much. And got this court, got the emergency court, and I could see when the claimant came in, she was upset. And I understand, because you were expecting to kick me out that day and you were having to come to court. So we've got this judge, and basically I'm saying, You know, everything is there. I'm basically saying, look, I've got the mortgage illustration. This is what we've done in 48 hours. Blah, blah, can we have the property now? And judge basically might as well be watching Coronation Street. She might as well have just been looking for an episode of Coronation Street, because as far as I'm concerned, it was biased. And this is what money does. If you got money, woohoo, they love you, because it's not nothing to do with us. There's no justice in an unjust system. It's just them. It's not us. They don't care about us. I'm saying to the judge, but judge, why is it I've offered her everything? Why is everything no to me? Well, there's nothing much I can say if they don't really want to. Are you for real? Are you a judge? Are you still watching Coronation Street? I'm confused. I'm lost. And I'm calling it out. I'm calling it out because it's just disgusting. I'm saying to the judge, so you're okay for me to be homeless? Call Grant is trying to speak and say, Judge, can I speak? You know, like, these two are sisters. Is there nothing we can do? She goes, well, if they don't want to, there's nothing they can do. So what they want is they want me to be out of the house, homeless on the street, yeah? So then they can get the house valued, and then after they get the house valued, they can then give me first refusal, yeah? So I didn't get kicked out that day, but on the 21st of October, which is basically less than a week away, they are looking to evict me. They're looking to evict me. They don't care if I'm going to be on the street. They don't care anything, yeah? They don't business. So my message to you is, and I know it's a long video, over 20 minutes, I'm sorry, yeah? My message to you is, please share this video. Let's help somebody, yeah? I don't know where I'm going to be. I don't know if I'm going to be in my home, if I'm not in my house. I have no idea, yeah? What's going to happen. But the fact that they're happy to keep people out. Now, is not the laws done by the Bible? There is nowhere in the Bible that says making somebody homeless. And imagine I've offered you everything and you said no. So as you heard from the bills of exchange, if somebody's offering and you refuse it, that's not on me, that's on you. You refuse everything. Why is it that the claimant has the right? And the title deeds are still in my parents' name. So technically, I don't own nothing, you don't own nothing. Everything is in my name. I've been paying all the bills. So how do you have the right to kick me out? How do you have that right? Because money says everything, and they alleged documents, their fake document, said they removed me as executor, even where clearly we can see that's not. So please share it to everybody. Pray for me, everybody, please. I beg you, pray for me, because God is the only one in this. I need your help. Share it. Share it everywhere. I don't care. Share it. It needs to be shared. I'm sorry it's long, like I said, but share it. And all I can say, I hope to do a podcast about the whole thing, because I think there's many stories, many people I've spoken to over the time. And all I can say is, there is no justice in an unjust system. Peace.